So, folks, I'm back again. As you know, I work with nonprofits throughout the United States. In fact, I'm working with nonprofits now in Africa as well as Latin America. And when I start with a nonprofit, I'll always introduce to the world the most recent nonprofit, who they are, what they do, and why they do it. So I'm going to back up because y'all know I talk too much. I'm going to back up and let the sister take it from here. So please share with them your name, your nonprofit, and why you started your nonprofit.
Okay, my name is Yanni. Well, I go by Yanni, but my name is Roxanne. The reason why I started my organization, my nonprofit organization, which is the name is Family Help in Need, because in the beginning, I was raised in foster care from 3 days old till I was 18, but I still lived in the system a little longer than that. So I got in it, and I was always my passion to do it because I watched my foster mom own 4 homes, and she had different kids, and she owned property because she was having other kids go in and out of these other properties. So when she passed away in the year of 2000, I wanted to relive her legacy, to continue on what she was doing. So I started the process of opening me up a group home to help individuals that that didn't have families, nowhere to stay, and that's my Family Help in Need. I want to reach out to the community to help those that don't have any guidance, don't have any assistance. Set up centers where kids will have somewhere to go to to continue their education, like free tutoring and things of that nature. And I just want to be able to give back to the community, because I know when I was in foster care, there was a lot that I didn't have. And I was raped with my first daughter, and I continued out there as a young mother, didn't know, didn't have any guidance. I had 3 other children, so I was on my own, and I really struggled a lot trying to, prepare a better life, because I didn't want them to go through what I've been through. So I'm just, reaching out to the community, any help, any donations that will be able to be nurtured into my organization, that's what I'm seeking for, help, so I will be able to provide these different services to these families and the community.
Share with us your experience in foster care so people can understand the real inside story. Instead of what you heard, tell them what you know.
Your phone, it had went out, Mr. Michael. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, tell them what your experience has been in foster care so they
Okay.
understand, not from someone that's talking from reading a book, but
Yes.
someone that has lived through it.
Okay. My experience in foster care that I know, or that what I was told, that I was left in a hospital at the age of 3 months old. I didn't have a name. I struggled, in school without an identity. And as I got up in age, I was living with a name that wasn't even my biological name until the year, to be honest with you, it had to be because we in 23 now. It was in 21. I had been going by this middle name Elizabeth all my life. Come to find out, I never had a birth certificate, because back then, my foster mom was helping me get housing, when my kids was little, since the first incident, when I was a rape, when I was in the system. So that was at the age of 17 when that incident happened,
Now,
when I was
how old
raped.
were you when you was raped?
I was 17 years old.
Okay, continue.
Yep, I was 17 years old when I got raped. I was still in the foster cares system. So after that incident happened, with the rape, um, as a young teenage mom that didn't know anything, well, let me back up. Let me back up. So my story goes back to when I was 6 years old. So when I turned 7, the state the state came and got me. I went to live with my biological mom, who I didn't know. So at the age of 7, me and my sister, she now resides in London. We went to live with this lady who we didn't know at the age of 7. So at the age of 7, I was sexually abused by my biological brother, who I didn't know at the time. She would leave me home with him. So what I would do when she would leave and he started, fondling with me, touching me, and those kind of natures, I would hide up under the bed to make him think that I had gone off with her. So it continued and continued. So several nights or several days, I would reach out to my foster mom crying, asking her if she can come and get me. And she was like, I can't come and get you, at that time, because it's really nothing she could do, because the state had turned me back over to my biological mom. So that was things that I had struggled, and I struggled. Me and my sister, we struggled with her waking us up in the middle of the night because she was doing drugs. So, we had to walk among the streets with her. She was naked. I guess she was on this high, and I guess the high needed somebody to walk with her amongst these dark roads at nighttime over in Seminole Heights. At the time, that's where we resided when I was 7 years old.
Okay,
So,
just hold on 1 second.
mhm.
We're talking, I'm not even telling the people where you located. Tell people where you located.
I
Because they're
am
gonna be
located
watching this from
in
around the country.
I am in Tampa, Florida.
Okay,
I
continue.
am in Tampa, Florida. So we would reside with her walking amongst these dark roads and dark streets. Actually, let me get in some light so you guys can see who I am. I'm just gonna turn on a little light so you guys could see me better. Okay. I think that's a little better. Okay. So walking the streets with her in the middle of the night, her, my sister, and myself. And she would do this all the time. So the sexual molestation, it continued throughout the years. We moved from house to house. So the last incident, I was 12 years old. I went to school. I was going to Oak Grove Junior High School, and that's off of Armenia and Hillsboro, if anyone knows where that at, and that's out in Tampa, Florida. One day I went to school and the PE teacher had asked me to dress out. And I'm like, I don't want to dress out. But as a little girl back then, they was wondering, okay, we know this student. She comes to school every day. She loves PE because I was into the gymnastics, doing the back bends, the flips. I was really into those type of athletes. So they know from a child coming to school, not dressing out, not participating, not doing sports, they knew something was wrong. So they end up taking me to the office to figure out what was wrong with me. They then removed my clothes and found out that I had all of these bruises. When I tell you, I was so sore, I couldn't sit down. I couldn't do nothing because there were bruises all over my back, my arms, like everywhere where I had been physically beaten. So Child Protective, they contacted Child Protective Services. Child Protective Services came to the school. They gave her a call and advised her that I wouldn't be returning. So as I can remember, I know they was trying to place me in another foster care, and they had took me out to make Lake Magdalene. If anyone is familiar with that, that is like a group home that they take you to, and it has like a boy side and a girl side. So all of the girls stay on one side, all of the boys stay on one side. So this Lake Magdalene is a facility where they in-house teenagers that don't have anywhere to go, or they're waiting on the court system to find a place to place them. So I was old enough and I had sense enough to tell them about the prior foster home that I was in. And, I was crying and begging them, to not put me in another foster home, because this lady who raised me at that time, she was all I know. So I didn't want to go nowhere else, and I think I was just scarred and bruised from being molested and different men, touching on me. And I can remember prior to the state moving me when I was 7 years old, I could remember assisting my foster mom because she had several houses that she would rent out to these older men. So, they was getting checks, and they would pay her, for room and board. So, and I can remember, helping her and taking them breakfast, walking down the street to the other house to take these men breakfast, and they would, physically molest me, and touch on me and fondle me. And I never told her because I was too, I was too afraid to tell her what I was going through as a little girl.
So I
So
had two questions.
yes,
How did you make it through it?
I made it.
How did you make it through it?
I guess God was watching me. He had his angels, and I endured the scar, the pain. I think that somewhere during my endurance, God was with me. God was with me, and I never hunger or thirst to prostitute. Because I say, sometimes I even say, God, thank you for allowing me to be put in a foster home. Because had I not was in a foster home or left in the hospital at 3 days without a name, Lord knows where I will be to this day, or what I would be doing, or what I would be like, or what type of person I will be.
So my second question is,
Mm-hmm.
there's someone watching this video, and they might be going through what you've gone through. Talk to that person. What should they do?
If there is anybody that is going through similar to what I'm going through, or find somebody who you can talk to. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep it inside. Find somebody who you can trust, somebody who you can confide in, that can help you get through what you're going through. And I think for me, I didn't tell anybody because I isolated myself. I was afraid of what people was going to think about me, how they was going to look at me. In today's world and society, you can't worry about that. You have to tell, and you have to talk to somebody, and it may be hard, but you have to find that trust in somebody who you confide and talk to.
So I think that the audience from around the country probably feel the same way I feel in terms of you giving your presentation. My question to you that I want you to give to the audience is, if they want to help, donations or whatever the case might be, how can they contact you?
My phone number is 727.
Oh, don't give your phone number, because this is
Oh,
going to
don't give
be
my
all
phone
over you.
number.
Yeah, just
Oh,
give
how
your
they can.
email. Because you
Okay,
be having
so
all
if
kind
you
of creeps calling you and everything if you give your phone number.
okay, let me give you an email. Hold on,
Okay.
let me see how I can do this. Okay, I think I can do it like that. Hold on 1 second while I get this email address.
Okay. Either way, when I post this, I'm gonna put your email on. But just in case
Okay,
people are listening right now, give them that email.
okay, okay. 1 second while I get that email for you. Okay. My email for contact will be Finn, that's F as in Frank, E as in Edward, I as in ice cream, N as in Nancy, I as in ice cream, N as in Nancy, C as in cat, 2023@gmail.com.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to working with your organization. I work with organization from starting a nonprofit to operation. There are three stages to a nonprofit. The first stage, and when the organization does its paperwork to file for its legal existence. The second stage is called the intermediate stage. This is when you begin to put together your board training, your employee subscription, and things of that nature. And the final stage is your operational stage when you actually got your doors open. So let's go in and have a discussion about the service that we provide and take it from there. But before we get off of this video here, anything else you want to say? It's your work. It's your opportunity to say anything, because guess what? The world's watching.
I think, but last but least, that I would like to say, I'm praying to God, and to, if anyone that's have heard my story and is listening, um, I'm open for any help, any assistance, any anybody that can assist me to pursue what I'm trying to do for any individual or community or my organization. So I'm really open and with open arms, and I'm just ecstatic, and I'm excited of who I can assist and help. So I'm
I
open
just
for
want to say, before we conclude, you've been through hell and back. Thank you.